This is the Dealer Playbook Podcast, episode 15, with best-selling author...
New York Times best-selling author, dude.
Right.
4 books in 5 years,
Got it.
okay?
Yep.
I know, I've written more books than some people will read in their damn lifetime.
Truth. Here we go.
You're dialed in to the Dealer Playbook Podcast, where it's all about winning auto dealer strategies that deliver proven results. And now your hosts, Robert Weissman and Michael Cirillo.
All right, and you are listening to the Dealer Playbook Podcast, episode 15. My name is Michael Cirillo. I'm here with my partner in crime, Robert Weissman. And I'll tell you what, if you haven't tuned into the Dealer Playbook yet, you need to absolutely go back and subscribe so that you can tune in to all of the information, tips, tricks, and strategies that we are delivering on a weekly basis. The whole idea behind the Dealer Playbook is to give you real car dealer strategies that deliver real results, and that's absolutely what's going to happen today. Robert, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, Michael. What's going on with you, brother? I'm pumped up for this one, man. I got a prediction. Michael is going to be super excited for this episode.
Yeah. Dude, I tell you what, like, every episode is exciting. We talk about this every time, but today, and I mean, it's really because of you, we were able to wrangle Grant Cardone to be with us, 4-time New York best-selling author, 4 books. You heard him. He hijacked the intro of this episode. Yeah. And we were fortunate enough to sit down with him. And it was cool because, like you were saying, Robert, before we hit record here, you were able to get him for 30 minutes, but the guy actually ended up spending, a full hour plus with us. And
he's in rare form on this one. He is
rare form
and
yeah, it's crazy. And just he's dropped so much information that if your mind isn't going to be totally blown listening to this episode, I don't know what it would take to blow your mind. The strategies, the insights, the power bombs, the nuggets that he's leaving behind in this episode is just so incredible. And, so we absolutely want to give a shout out to Grant, express our appreciation for having him on the show today. I don't know about you. I'm ready to just kind of jump into it.
Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Grant Cardone.
Grant, man, thanks for coming on the Dealer Playbook.
You
for
got
the
it,
time.
dude. You got it.
We got it. Everybody here listening to this definitely know Grant Cardone is.
Dude, if you
awesome
don't know
guy.
me, let me just say, Robert, if they don't know me, if you don't know who I am, that's my fault. That's my fault. I apologize to everybody that doesn't know me. If you're like, dude, I never heard of this Grant Cardone cat. Look, I apologize. My bad. Okay. I want to apologize to you, your family, your church, your community, your children, to your drug dealer, to whatever you've been. I just want to apologize to you.
But Grant. So, guys, Grant is taking the time nice enough. The guy's super busy, as you can imagine, but was, granted us the time to sit down. We're going to talk a little bit about. I asked him what topics, he wanted to cover, and he really kind of left it up to me. But
I leave it up to you. I leave it up to you.
Yes,
man.
but I like the one you have about.
You know what Robert came up with
salespeople.
since we started, Michael? Robert came up with, let's talk about the meet and greet.
I did not say that.
Okay, Grant. I said, no, dude, I don't want to talk about that. He's like, let's talk about properly qualifying the customer. I said, no, I don't want. He's like, let's talk about Facebook. Let's talk about Facebook, Grant.
Everybody knows that is not true. So Grant is going to talk about why salespeople hate their jobs. Most car salespeople hate their jobs, and you know what? That's I believe in that 100% because I was there, something that I loved and was passionate about, and at times I hated it. And I watched a lot of people that did nothing but hate it. So, Grant, tell me. So why do most car salespeople hate their jobs?
Well, first of all, Robert, I want to say to you, I really appreciate your show and what you do on the show, and you're a guy that I like you, Robert. And I'm going to tell you something that you don't know. That I know you've been trying to get me on this show for a long time, and I finally agreed. Do you know why I agreed last week and said, okay, I'll do the deal?
Why?
Because you were so professional at how you persisted in getting me on the show. This guy, Robert Weissman, okay, he's got so many different angles and persisted from so many different ways, and I kept putting him off and I wouldn't respond, and the guy was professional the whole time, never made me wrong, never said something dumb like, well, you too busy, man, you know, you too big now. You never did any of that make wrong stuff, dude. You were so professional, and this last time that we talked, you're like, dude, I know you're busy and I know you got a lot going on, and it would really help me if you can ever do it and make the time. You just finally I'm like, I got to do this for the wise man. Because I respect you, dude.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, I learn from the best. Grant, just to keep this going back and forth, without Grant, the guy, Grant that's here, you wouldn't even be listening to me right now. Big part of the reason why I'm even here and, in this space. So thank you, Grant, so much. Hey, Grant, you know Michael, right?
Yeah.
I don't
know Michael intimately like I know you intimately. Yeah. I mean, those 2 nights you spooned me, I'll never forget those 2 nights.
Not part of the show, people. Not part of the show.
Yeah. Do you have explicit on your iTunes category?
No, I don't actually.
We will now.
We haven't gone there
Everything I have on my podcast is labeled explicit for a damn reason.
Parental advisory, explicit.
Yeah.
Explicit content. So let us hear it, man. Tell everybody why they hate their job, or the people, most importantly, the people that they're counting on. Let's take management and dealer principals. They're counting on these people to make money for them.
What do you think? Why people hate the automobile business? I mean, is that a fair statement that a lot of people don't like it?
Well, you know what? I think there's a lot of people that aren't passionate about a lot of things. I don't know if it's necessarily the car business, but I can think of myself. I'm less passionate about things that I suck at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like you've got whatever it is, 100,000 salespeople in the country going to work every day, just trying to make ends meet, not really knowing what they need to do to step their game up, or maybe they haven't figured out why they're showing up, and they're sucking it up, and so they're not passionate about it.
Yeah.
They're not enjoying it.
I know for me, and Robert, when you brought up the topics that we could talk about, I said, so many topics are covered in this space that you go to these conferences and conventions, and it's how to lease better, how to run a better BDC, how to make more gross, how to convert more. I'm like, when's somebody going to talk about the real shit going on here, okay? What about I hate my damn job, okay? Because all this other stuff doesn't matter. The BDC, the conversion rates, the posts, the social media. Dude, if you hate what you do, look, you just hate what you do, okay? And there's no creativity if you're hating. I mean, you're using so much energy to hate that you can't create. Damn, I sound like a Baptist minister now. Okay,
Cardonisms.
Yeah. So I
just bought the domain.
Yeah, probably. Your net worth is wrapped up in domains. I don't have any money, but I got bustedbroke.com and hoping somebody buys it one day in the future.com. So the first 2 years I sold automobiles, I absolutely hated the car business. I mean, I hated it with a passion. I didn't like me. I didn't like the people I worked with. I didn't like the manager that I had. I kind of liked the finance guy I had because I could talk him into anything. But he was so weak. Nice. I didn't respect him. I liked him. I didn't like the owner. I didn't like anybody in the place, okay? And I didn't like myself, and I didn't like the customers. And I especially didn't like when I told somebody that I was selling cars, that look they got. They got this look of disappointment, like, really? Really? Yeah. You mean you went to college to sell cars, dude? I mean, what's wrong with you? You a loser? They all had that look. And so, if I go back and look at what changed when I was 25, because all of a sudden I fell in love with the car business. I was like, dude, I like this job. And it's what Michael said. At 25, dude, I became a superstar. And I tell anybody, I became a freaking rock star, not just in my store, but in my town. And I was selling more product than 3 and 4 and 5 guys at a time. And what the switch for me was, okay, if I leave the car business right now, I'm leaving a loser. I'm no better than when I came here. I didn't leave the environment or the space any better. I'm just a critic. All I did was come in, judge them. It's like walking in somebody's town and saying, "Oh, it's dirty here," but and then you litter it. And that was me. I just kind of taken a dump where I was and not cleaned up after myself. And so I got on some training tapes. I was 25 years old in 1 month. And dude, literally 1 month later, I was in love with my customers, the environment. I still didn't like the manager because the guy was weaker than freaking Panther piss that had been diluted by some lithium runoff in Santa Monica River. the guy couldn't. He could barely button his damn shirt or zip his freaking fly up. He was so weak. Okay, I'd bring this guy a deal, and this guy would be like, "That's not a deal." I said, "It's not a deal because you still got breath, you still got air in your lungs. I'm gonna go make it a deal, dog. I don't even know why I came in here to visit with you. You so damn weak."
That's always going to be that. That's how it is, though. That's always the way it's going to be. Okay, back up quick though.
Yeah.
Let's talk about hating. Why a lot of salespeople hate this, but and you're getting there. But why originally did you get into the car business? Is it because
I hated being unemployed? I hated being unemployed.
It's always, and I've said this before, that like the warehouse is laying off and people are like, I can always go sell cars until the warehouse opens back up.
Yeah. And for me, my uncle told me I couldn't get a job. I had an accounting degree and I couldn't get a job. My uncle said, "Why don't you go look at a car dealership?" Literally had never, ever considered working in a car dealership in my life. Never had the thought. Had passed by car dealerships. The only thing I thought about them for was maybe one day I'll have a car. And I was broke, dude. I had nothing. Okay. I mean, I have no money. I don't even have respect for myself. And my uncle says, if you go work for a car dealership, you could make $4 or $5 grand a month. And I was like, what?
And get some wheels back then too.
Yeah, and get some wheels back then,
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I went to the car dealership and told the guy, I said, "Hey, I got a college degree." He's like, "Oh, that's going to definitely, that's not going to help you here." And I said, "Why is that?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, the less you know, the better off you are." I'm like, "Shit, why didn't you tell me that 5 years ago? I'd have come over here 5 years." Yeah. And true enough, man, I made like $5 grand the first month. The next month, I made $1,500. Third month, I wanted to kill myself. Hated the job, hated the people, and I think people need to understand. It wasn't the car business, dude. I could have been in the furniture business, the mortgage business. It's what Michael said. I was no good at what I was doing, and if you're no good at what you're doing, you're gonna hate it. It really had nothing to do with the car business at all.
So what you're saying, Grant, is you can actually learn to like what you're doing or learn to love what you're doing if you previously didn't, or if you entered it not enjoying it, you could grow to like it.
Yeah, there's a
once you get good at it.
Once you get great at it, okay? You don't want to be, because there's plenty of people good at it. And good, you add good to the margins in automobiles in the car business today, good means $3 grand a month. It means you're going to be at the poverty line or very close to it. The poverty in this country, there's 48 million people in poverty in this country. Most people don't even know what that means. It means a family of 4 people living on 23 grand a year.
Right.
Family of 4 living on 23,000, okay? There's a survey that just came out today, 64% of millennials. That group is only 80 million strong, okay? 64% of millennials would rather make $40,000 a year and like their job than make $100 grand a year and be bored with it. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you, dog? Are you freaking stupid? Are you so self-centered? Are you so selfish? Are you so me that you'd rather be happy at your job and make 40 grand than be bored with it and make 100? And you went to school to get that kind of education? What is wrong with this group of people? That's 30 million people that would rather make less money and not be bored. Well, the reality of that is this. If you're bored with your job, it's because you suck at it. You're not creating on it. You're not figuring out new nuances, how to keep it trick and exciting. And any job can be made exciting, man. Anything can be, you can add some freaking juice and greatness to. And that's what's really missing from the dealer. The dealer's not asking his people to do that. He's saying, dude, just work a 12-hour day, do what I say, work the 13 steps, and spend 4 hours selling a guy, make him feel good about it. I'm going to pay you $50 to sell a $40,000 truck. I need you to follow these people up afterwards, by the way. Follow them up. You follow them up. Shit, I never want to see these people again. I hate my damn job. And my wife hates me too.
Yeah. Because you're not bringing home the bacon.
There's no money, man.
Dude.
Just can't do nothing.
Money.
You know, I come home and I tell my wife, I'm like, Robert Wiseman's like, man, I don't know if I wish I wouldn't even have done this with him.
What are you talking about, man?
My wife, have we started yet?
Yeah.
My wife, I come home, you know what my wife asked me today? Still today, dude. Okay. We make any money today?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to replay that then I got some people in mind I'm going to replay that just clip right there for. So if your wife's asking if you've made money, then I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm normal.
Yeah. And what is wrong with your wife that she's not asking, man? You know, I'm talking to everybody that's out there listening. If your wife's not asking you, dude, did we make some freaking dough today or not? No, I didn't make any. Then what the hell you doing home?
Why'd you go to
Climb
work?
your ass back in our car, drive back over to the lot. They closed 3 hours ago. Good. Well, you need to go back over there and fish, you know? You need to go over there. Look, I closed more deals. When I was 25 and 26 and 27 years old, the store would close at 7. I guarantee you 5 nights of the week, I would still be there at 11 o'clock doing a deal. You know, I'm looking, man. Okay, I didn't bring a deal home yet. So what? Stay. Your day off is Wednesday and you're behind the gun and you hadn't done anything this week. Don't take the day off. You don't have to. You know, you don't have to take days off. Go to your dealer and say, I don't want to take any days off, dude. Okay? I don't want a day off. I want to feed my damn family. I want my kids to be proud of me. I want my wife to admire me and think that I'm Superman. I want sex all the time because I'm such a stud. Okay? You know what a guy wants? A guy wants a day off. What you want a day off for, dude? You take more time off than God does.
So whose responsibility then? Okay, so obviously you're going to hate something if you suck at it. We got, we're there. Whose responsibility is it? Is the sales or the salespeople? Are they supposed to sit around? I mean, is it on the dealer? It seems like there's just so many guilty parties because I look at it as why would the salesperson sit there and pass up a golden opportunity to build their own business within a business without half the risk or investment that most entrepreneurs have to make? And then why does the dealer or the principal or the management who is they benefit off of a good salesperson's performance? The more their team sell, the more money everybody makes. So, why it doesn't?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've been doing this 30 years. I've been doing this long enough to know that most dealers are not going to invest in their people. Okay, it's just not going to happen. They're willing to pay for the cars. They're willing to pay. They're willing to fund the facility at $18 million. They're willing to fund, $200,000 a month in advertising. Dude, they're just not investing in people. It's just not happening. They'll buy a piece of technology. They'll buy a big boat, a plane, another house, a third house, a fifth house. Yeah. You want me to
send media spend?
Dude,
the media spend was just...
Dude, you want me to spend some money on Robert Wiseman? He ain't going to even be here freaking 3 months from now. He going to quit and start doing radio and some bullshit on iTunes, okay? So why? So look, let's just assume that the dealer is not going to invest in his people, okay? Let's just assume that. By the way, it's not his job to do that, okay? I mean, it'd be a smart thing to do. Even more criminal in this environment is the manager that doesn't invest in the people because the manager's paycheck is dependent upon me more than the dealer. Okay, the dealer's already freaking on the line. All his money, everything is net worth. Dude, he's putting his balls out there every day, 3 million at a time, 7 million, 17 million, tying stores together, future warranties. He's pulling out the cash from a deal from 3 years in advance to fund another Chevrolet store. I mean, that's going to ask him to spend another $8 million to make it look pretty. But you got a manager sitting there, a general sales manager and a finance manager that don't spend anything, won't even buy their people a tie. To say, my people suck. Of course they suck, dude. You knew that when you hired me. I'm 5 years old. I got a drug problem. You had to know I had a drug problem when I came in. During the interview, Excuse me a second, okay? I mean, look, my nostrils are all inflamed and red, right? I'm talking through my face. You're not paying attention? Okay? I got a problem. What the hell am I at a car dealership for? This wasn't the first choice. So, and then you say, oh, he sucks. You hired me, okay? Now, so that manager who could make $175,000 a year rather than $140,000, he lost the dream. He's got a wife at home not pushing his ass anymore. His wife is saying,
he hates his job too.
He hates his job. His wife's like, why you spend so much time at the dealership? Shit, I'm trying to buy you a new dress, bitch. I'm trying to take care of our freaking kids, one of which I'm not even sure is mine. Come on, man. Let's keep it real, okay? It's crazy.
So pretty much what we're getting at is it's your responsibility. The individual.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you blame. I need to get my game on. Okay, you can quit the car dealership. Yeah. You're going to go to another company, and you know what? You're going to have to sell something there. And then you're going to leave there, and you're going to be like, I'm going to start my own deal. Oh, that's going to suck too, dude. You know this kid Bergdahl. What's his name? Bergdahl.
Yeah.
The guy that they think he deserted the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
And everybody's all freaking out about it. Let me tell you something, man. There's people deserting their post every day in this country. Okay? People deserting their dreams. They desert their families. They desert their customers. They desert the place they work at. They desert by not following up. You know, you got an appointment that doesn't show up and you desert the guy and make him wrong. There's desertion going on everywhere. There's treasonous acts all over America, and we're all pointing at one guy saying he deserted. Well, what about you? What about me?
So let me ask you this, Grant. Do you think half of it is, or what would you say percentage-wise is the group of this that maybe it's caused by a feeling of entitlement, like, hey, I came to work for you, you're supposed to be creating opportunities for me, versus the people that maybe are just down on it. You know, they've had a series of bad luck or whatever you want to call it. Somebody's stolen their dreams. They don't know why they're doing what they're doing. Do you know what I'm getting at? I mean,
yeah,
there's certain people that are going, hey, well, I work for you. You need to do this for me. There's other people that are just maybe down on themselves because they've had a string of just nothing happening or nothing going for them.
Yeah. I understand all those scenarios. You know, I mean, there's bad things happening to people everywhere. I mean, there's some guy in India today that, you know, his family won't see $2,300 all year, man. It's a family of 6, and they eat rice 3 times a day. I mean, there's all kind of hardships all over the world. There's some single mother somewhere. It's got 2 kids. You know, her husband, Robert Wiseman, walked out, left the 2 kids. The mom.
I was going to say, do you have her number? You threw me in as the
okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. How does one – are we saying – look, don't keep jumping around trying to find something that you're passionate about. Learn to become passionate about what you're doing.
Dude, I wouldn't even worry about the passion in the beginning, okay? Look, you got to get good at it. If you're going to keep getting beat in your game, you're not going to get passionate. I mean, getting passionate you got to get educated, right? I got to like, hey, man, maybe I need to read a book, man. Maybe I got to read something. Maybe I got to listen to something. You know, it's like you're listening to something already. It's not like that's a new activity. Okay, what are you listening to? Like people, no offense, but you're going to listen to this podcast. The podcast is out of sequence. You know, so a guy leaves and thinks, oh, I'm getting training because I listened to this podcast with Grant Cardone. Dude, you're out of sequence. You need education, which is a sequence, right? You're getting dropped into webinars, podcasts, you're reading a blog here, a strategy over here. I mean, this is the other level of learning. The guy thinks he's deluded to thinking he's learning. He's just getting all this stuff thrown at him. He's going to this conference.
It's supplemental.
Yeah, dude. It's like, oh, wow, I'm going to get a little drop or drip today. But you need an educational pathway. They did a study of kids. These are 6-year-old kids watching. They put half of them in a room just watching a TV program that was educational. And then the other half in a room with toys and an education. Okay? Now, who do you think comprehended the most?
Toys.
It's probably the kids with the toys.
Yeah, well, it was the same actually. It was exactly the same. The toys did not distract from the education. Okay, now when they did it out of sequence, all of a sudden everything plummeted. Okay, it would be like
example of out of sequence.
Out of sequence would be like you come to the dealership and I'm going to teach you how to sell a car. That's out of sequence. Okay, most trainers teach out of sequence. Let's teach somebody how to sell a car. You missed a small step. What is selling? What is selling anything? Why am I talking about selling a car? Dude, I hate sales, okay? I'm sitting there thinking, I don't want to be a salesman. Teach me how to sell a car. It's out of sequence, right? Or I'm going to teach a guy about the product, and I haven't taught somebody about a person. So that's out sequence too, right? I'm going to teach him the steps to the sale as opposed to, hey, let me just teach a guy how to what we're doing here. What is the mission of this company? So it's like out of sequence, right? I'm going to teach a guy chemistry, but I haven't taught him basic science yet.
I get what you're saying.
So that's why, I've been blamed, and it's probably true that, my seminars, one of my seminars, information assisted selling that I used to do years ago that really got me known. It was a very much out sequence seminar. It was out sequence. It was extremely advanced. Okay. Because, and what happened, and I've never actually said this on podcast. Have we started yet? Okay. And so, I've never said this in any kind of interview, but that seminar was out sequence because the seminar was actually made for dealers. To get the dealer, this was 20 years ago, and I was talking at that time about the information age. And I was basically predicting the future and saying, look, you're going to go to price, payments, down payments, and figures on the trade-in. You need to offer that verbally on the phone. You need to offer a point of contact. When I say today, everybody nods their head. 20 years ago, they were like, no, dude. Hey, get him out of here. Well, that presentation, I got my share of the business, but that presentation was created for dealers to get the attention of dealers. But the only way I could sell it was to go to towns all across America and bring the circus to town, right? P.T. Barnum's coming to town. Got an elephant. Okay, got a big elephant. Takes a big dump. Okay. And so we would go to town, and then who are we going to invite to the seminar? Anybody that would buy a ticket, dude. Okay, so I got a salesman with 3 days in there, 3 months in there, 3 years. People are like, we got some new people here. Dude, there's people in this room with 27 years. What they're about to get is a lot of new. And so it was out sequence, right? So that's why people walked away and said, Cardone's really complicated. I got to go do Joe because Joe's simple.
Boom. All right. Wow. That guy is jacked up, man. All right, so basically that's all the time we had for this today. Next week, next Thursday, you can tune in, same time, same channel, thedealerplaybook.com, for the conclusion and the second half of our sit down with the man, the maniac, Grant Cardone. Make sure to head over to thedealerplaybook.com to access anything, any notes, anything discussed in today's episode. Make sure to check out any of the previous ones if you haven't already. And again, download on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you like to get them. Go get it. And make sure you're here next week for the conclusion of our sit down with the man, Grant Cardone. We'll see you next time.